Very strange. Did you see that? Where are the lipstick lesbians when you need them?
Here, standing in front of Morphe.
We have a new mission. Thank you, Michaela. Lightform. Let's talk about her. Look at that. I have shade Tan 22. This is obviously not my shade, but remember, this is about texture. This is one of the smoothest gliding foundations I've touched in a long time. How this is laying down is really unique. It is giving a nice playtime. Now, I put one pump on and am getting a really nice level of coverage. When I say the spread is nice, I mean you're getting coverage as this lays down, and it's really easy to lay down. When you add friction, like Michaela applying the sponge, you'll notice it will be lighter. Sometimes the way that pigments disperse in a formula base impacts how they interact with friction. So this treated pigment is just lightening the bulk on contact. It is not going to be impacted once it dries down. So this is something I've seen with treated pigments, which means they have an encapsulation around them. And that also sometimes helps with the glide and the texture. Why does this feel like a lubricant? Why is this gliding so seamlessly? Let's talk about the ingredients. Second ingredient, silicone, dimethicone, definitely going to contribute to the glide. But this isoamyl laurate, that is interesting. I have not really seen that ingredient, which is the third ingredient in a lot of foundations. This is an ester. Esters have the ability to feel non-oily, but be extremely hydrating. Talk about a lubricant. That's why we're talking about this extended hydration element. We're using this ingredient, the isoamyl laurate, to drive emolliency without the oily feeling, with it being so thin and so spreadable. And they're basically sandwiching that ester with a bunch of silicones and film formers around it.
Wow, that's wild.
All of this hydration story, this moisture, without the oily after effect. Super, super thin, super, super lightweight, great for all skin types, even if you're oily. It's still going to give us that sheen and performance because it's sandwiched with film formers and silicone.
So how about the idea that the Morphe's a dupe for the NARS?
For my light reflecting?
Yeah.
No, don't get it twisted. Let's get into it. This cannot be duped that easily. This is silicone free, and Morphe is literally wrapped in multiple silicones. That offhand makes it impossible to be a dupe. The silicone is going to create a different consistency, a different wear experience. And yes, this is skincare infused, but still not to the level of the way that this is infused with skincare and silicone free. Consistency wise, here, this is Patagonia. I wear Patagonia in light reflecting. Sometimes I wear a lighter shade, depends on how much self-tanner I'm using. The texture is very, very different. I feel that silicone, it's not like they're on different planets. They feel closer after they spread and you lose that. They're the same texture in terms of thinness. I'm feeling this similar texture and thinness, but overarching, you can never say a silicone-free product is a dupe for something with silicone. And I saw Morphe dry down on my hand, totally different than I've seen my NARS dry down. The real question though is a split-faced evaluation.
We're gonna buy her.
Now I have my Patagonia on my hand to go shade match what I want for my Morphe shade. You wanna go in side by side? It's gonna be Morphe, this is gonna be NARS, and spread side by side. The glide of the Morphe, because of the silicone, is a totally different experience, as is the coverage level. When we're talking about spreadability, a lot of factors go into what makes a foundation spread and then adhere to the skin. There's more of a sheeny, oil adjacent sensation, fuller coverage, more radiance. Light reflecting is less coverage, but still buildable, more natural looking, not as radiant in the finish. These are just different foundations for me. They're giving different things. They feel different on skin. They're just not a dupe. The attributes are similar, just a totally different experience when you include silicone.